Chapter 15 Journey to the Arctic. Kenny wasn't great with heights, so he plastered a grin on his face, pretending like everything was alright. He didn't dare look down. The dark clouds were fast approaching. There was something menacing about them. Soon the clouds would reach the sun, and day would turn to night. When Lily had flown high enough, the gem eagles joined them. Their feathers were covered with thousands of sparkling gems that glistened in the light. They soared through the air, and Lily flew as fast as she could. As they went, the wind became colder and colder. They were only wearing light clothes and started to shiver. "How much longer?" Kenny asked, with his teeth starting to chatter. "What?" Simon shouted back, unable to hear him over the roar of the wind. "How much longer?" Kenny shouted back. "I don't know," Simon shouted in reply. He looked down. There was snow on the ground below, as well as a river, with more and more trees appearing. He thought to himself that this must be the start of the frozen Arctic lands. The dark storm clouds were getting closer and closer. Lily started to slow down, catching her breath and gliding on her stretched wings. Simon inched closer to Lily's head, holding onto her feathers, but trying not to pull on them too much. "Where are the others?" Lily tilted her head. "They're waiting back where it's a bit warmer," she said. "Gem eagles don't like the cold so much." Sarah was the first to notice the thousands of brown animals below, plodding through the trees. They looked huge. It was like they were a river of brown bodies flowing through the white snow. "Look!" she said to Kenny, pointing down below. He took a brief glimpse, but then said, "No, I'm all right," while shaking his head. "They look like bison," she continued, "but they look like they're made out of rock." Then she saw the pack of wolves following them. Lily continued to glide and dropped down a bit lower. There was a sudden flash of lightning, followed by the rumble of thunder. All three of them clung to Lily even more. The clouds covered the sky, and it turned darker and darker. The winds started to pick up. A storm was coming. Lily was buffeted by the wind and lost her balance. She turned and said to the three of them, "I'm going to have to land." Simon looked at the others, who were holding on for dear life. They nodded back. "Okay," Simon replied. With the wind, Lily was very unbalanced, swinging from side to side. She was coming to land a bit too quickly, but she couldn't slow down. As she came closer to the ground, she put out her talons to act as brakes. The trees disappeared, and a large clear space opened up. It must have been a frozen lake. As Lily's talons touched the ground, they started to skid on the snow on top of the ice. They all started to yell, "Ah!" After sliding for about 100 meters, with snow and ice spraying up into the air, making a white cloud around them, they slowed down and came to a stop. "Are you all right?" Lily asked, feeling rather shaken, but glad they were safe. "Yes," Simon replied as he hopped to the ground. "Thank you." Sarah climbed down as well, but Kenny was still clinging to the feathers, with his eyes still scrunched shut. "Kenny!" Sarah called out. He opened one eye and realized they weren't moving anymore. "Oh," he said, looking back at them sheepishly. He climbed down. The wind was picking up more and more, and it had started to snow. "We'd better get to some shelter," Simon said, squinting as he looked at the surrounding trees and rocks to find the best place to go. "I have to go," Lily said, "before my wings freeze." "I thought you said," Simon began. "I lied. The truth is, I'm not that good in the cold either." "Thank you for everything," Simon said as he stood back. "Yes, thank you," both Sarah and Kenny added. Lily turned and started to take off. The snow was coming down even more, and it was blowing a gale. She managed to get into the air and was battling against the wind. Then suddenly a shot rang out, and a rope net hurtled through the air. Lily saw it coming, but it was too late. The net covered her and closed around her wings. There was nothing she could do. She started falling and screamed as she fell. She landed hard on the ice. Everything hurt. The ice around her started to crack, and some of it broke away.